Welcome to this week's edition of the Gardener's Corner program. I'm Jennifer Brown, Family Consumer Science Agent with the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service. We have experienced a lot of heat this week with some of our higher temperatures, and that has also caused a lot of summer storms and a lot of rain. But if you are still trying to get your physical activity, or maybe you've got to do stuff outside, whether it is in your garden or work on your house, or just, enjoying yourself doing a variety of different summer activities, we want to make sure that you are staying hydrated because water does so many beneficial things for your body. Your body is made up of about 50 to 70% water. And if you aren't getting the water that you need, your cells, your tissues, your organs aren't going to be able to function properly. Even just your brain is 73%, it needs water to function. Your water helps get rid of any waste in your body through, you sweating or you going to the bathroom. It helps carry oxygen to our cells. It helps regulate our temperature so we don't overheat. So if you are outside, water is extremely important. Now, you notice that I'm not just saying liquids. We want water because some liquids can actually dehydrate you. If they have a lot of sugar or even, believe it or not, salt in some of the beverages can be high sodium, depending on what products are in them. As well as we often say that exercise or movement, motion is lotion. It's the same thing with water. They help lubricate your joints, help protect your tissues, and they're just essential for our body to work properly. And with these high temperatures that we've experienced this past week, as we will continue to experience throughout, the summer as it continues to get warmer, now that we are officially in summer, we want to make sure that you are getting all of the benefits that your body can get from adequate hydration. Um, it even just it helps you feel fuller so that maybe you aren't overeating. It can help with less brain fog. Oftentimes people get kind of, fatigued or lethargic towards the end of their workday, and they're like, "Oh, I just need that snack. I need that sugar to boost me up." But then an hour later, they're having a sugar crash. No, oftentimes you're just simply dehydrated. And what comes, to you as feeling like your hunger pains is really just your body telling you you're dehydrated. And that can also lead to headaches and other kinds of things. Water can give you energy, and it can even help you manage your weight. Again, specifically if you feel kind of snackish, go get some water instead, because water is extremely important, and we want to drink more water to help replace some of that sugar sweetened beverages that we are getting in so many different places nowadays. So I often get asked, how much water do I need to be drinking? And, you'll hear the standard, 64 ounces or 8 glasses of water, and a glass is an 8 ounce. So, one of those small bottles of water is an 8 ounce one. So if you have a normal standard bottle of water, that's about 16 ounces, and you would need to drink four of those a day. If that's not realistic to you, if you're like drinking zero right now, I don't want you just to jump up to 4 bottles of water, because you will spend most of your time in the bathroom. Anytime you add something new to your routine, you need to slowly increase it. Just whether it's 1 bottle a day or 2 bottles a day or something like that. But another tidbit or trick that they've told people is take your body weight and divide that in half. That's how many ounces you need. So it's very difficult for us to say, oh, you need 64 ounces. We're not all built the same. We're not all the same, levels. I don't need the same calorie as somebody that weighs 100 pounds more than me. Same thing with your water intake. If you have more mass, you're going to have more water to your body. We might be both 60% of our water or of our body is water, but if you have a bigger body, same thing if you have a smaller physique too, you might need less water than I would. So taking your body weight and dividing it in half is another good measurement there. But again, if you're, you know, 180 pounds or something, then you're going to need 90 ounces, which is even more than the standard 64. So the point we really want to just get to people is just listen to your body. Drink when you're thirsty. And even if you don't, if you're not sure if you're thirsty, if you feel like you're a little hungry or you need a little snack or you're kind of feeling worn down, try water instead of a snack. That water can give you that hydration. We're not trying to get you to skip meals or anything like that. Sometimes it's just you don't realize it. So I try to keep a bottle of water or some kind of beverage here at my desk because I often too will forget. I'm just going about the normal day and I realize that, oh my gosh, I haven't drank anything all day. Oftentimes you might like think, oh, I haven't been to the bathroom, today, and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That means your body is dehydrated and you aren't flushing any toxins out of your body as well. So we want to make sure that you are doing that too. So again, there's so many different factors that can affect that. Your age, the your metabolism level or your muscle mass, your activity level. Again, if you're more active, you're going to be burning off or maybe sweating more calories. Where you live, the climate. If it's a really hot climate, like we've been experiencing these high temperatures, you're going to be sweating more. So that means that you're going to need to be drinking more water, and you still might feel dehydrated. If you are suffering from an illness or if you are pregnant, again, your requirements are going to be a little different. So always have that conversation with your medical healthcare provider about what are your specific recommendations for hydration, for food, for whatever it might be. If you think you might be experiencing signs of dehydration, again, ask for help. But some of the basic ones we want to make sure you're aware of course, is just that overwhelming feeling of being thirsty too. Dry mouth or lips. If you go to the bathroom and you notice a darker yellow color, then, and sometimes that might have a stronger smell, that means you aren't getting enough water. You might be getting, a lot of teas or soft drinks or those kinds of things, and that's what's changing that color in your urine there. So we want to make sure that you are drinking the right beverages. If you aren't drinking any beverages and you're just severely dehydrated because you're not getting water or any liquids, then you might just not be going to the bathroom that much there. Or you notice that you're holding on to the fluid and you've got that little water retention pouch on your body there. I tend to get headaches. And it's towards the afternoon when I experience those. And it's not because, oh, work's been giving me, a lot of headaches or any of that. Some of it anyway is that I'm just dehydrated. And I realize that, and instead of going and getting a snack from the vending machine or something, it's like, okay, I need to stop and take a break, but I need to take a water break there. You can notice that your skin is getting really, really dry as well. And then even your eyes kind of like they're sunken and in there. So you don't look healthy there either. When you notice dry mouth, dry lips, dry skin, sunken eyes there. So even just sometimes, oh, you look so much, more youthful and your skin looks great. It's just I'm hydrated. I'm looking like I'm supposed to be looking. So that can also happen too. So again, we're all at risk of dehydration, but the effects can hit you more if you have a chronic disease such as diabetes, if you are taking certain medications as well, certain diuretics, they are going to make you go to the bathroom more often. So if you aren't replacing that, then you can get dehydrated as well. Oftentimes, as we get older too, it could be because we have diabetes or because we're taking diuretics or a mixture of those things, that as we get older, sometimes our thirst sensation, that feeling of feeling thirsty, that sensation decreases. So you just don't realize that you're not drinking enough because you're like, well, I don't feel thirsty, drink anyway, put that in your body. If you aren't, I am very I sweat a lot, so I'm just one of those people. I'm prone to sweating, so I have to make sure that definitely during this last week where we've had a lot of high temperatures, or if I'm going to vacation and I'm outside all the time, that I'm constantly having water bottles or water of some kind that I'm taking with me. And I know that I prefer my water um, at least cold. It doesn't necessarily have to be refrigeration temperature, and it's just a preference. It doesn't matter for my body or anything else. But I can't have it like it's sitting in my car warm. I don't want that too. So, and then if you're sick, if you have a cold or a fever or something like that, that's why your doctors always say fluids, liquids. Again, preferably healthy liquids. It might be tea, but it's not high sugary tea. It's kind of like, that herbal medicinal tea is what they're looking at. Juices to give you some of that vitamin C or vitamin D or some of those other nutrients as well. But watching the sugar level of those beverages is important too. So, and remembering, yes, all of your beverages can count towards your fluid intake for your daily total, whether it's the water, but even those other beverages, the sugar sweet ones, caffeinated, those kinds of things, they will add towards your fluid count. But the ones that we want you to focus on are those waters, those unsweetened beverages, milk to, again, we would prefer the lower fat content milk because that's giving you that calcium, that vitamin D, those kinds of things. Or as I mentioned, the herbal teas. Those are the ones that we want you to focus on. So when your doctor says more fluids, those are the ones that they're kind of talking about. They're not just talking about, oh, cool, I can drink as many soft drinks as I want, because there are negative effects of those beverages too, and some of them as well can, of course, if they're high sugar, can cause diabetes, or if they can have some negative side effects. You become addicted to that sugar, and so then when you aren't drinking all those sugar sweetened beverages, then you can have almost withdrawal symptoms. You can get those headaches from weaning yourself off of those. So if you're not drinking them, don't start drinking them. If you're like, water's boring, there's so many different ways to jazz up your water nowadays. We want to make sure that you're using healthier options, using fruit or even certain vegetables in your fruit in your water to infuse flavor with it. The limes, the lemons, the even strawberries or cucumbers or different herbs you can put in your water too to kind of flavor it. If you're getting some of the packets, you're trying to get the 0 calorie, watching the amount of sugar that are in those packets as well. Being sure to read your labels is important, and maybe using only half of a pack so it has a little bit of a taste, but not so much there too. And then don't forget, there are so many wonderful foods that can hydrate us as well. Foods can account for, even up to 20% of your daily fluid intake. There are some foods that have more higher water content, anywhere from like 90 to 100% water content. And this summer, I mean, the summertime is the best time to do that, which is why I think a lot of those fruits are in season, is because our body needs that fluid, and it's a healthy way to get it. So some of those cantaloupes and watermelons or strawberries. If you're looking at vegetables, lettuce, cabbage, your greens there, some of your cooked squash, celery, those things are really good and going to have a high water content. Some that are also good, but not as high of a high water content, are your bananas, your grapes, your avocados, your oranges, pineapple, broccoli if it's cooked, carrots, and then of course your dairy products as well. Be careful with certain of those fruits; also have a higher sugar content too. So. Again, it's all about a balance there, but these are wonderful things to snack on, and much better for you to snack on than some of the chips and cakes and cookies and ice cream or other stuff that we are snacking on that's going to have a high sugar content and a high fat content as well. So we want you to get your fluid, but we don't want you to do it in an unhealthy way. It's kind of like we don't want you to eat that salad if you have to drench it in your salad dressing there. So we're going to take a brief break and get a word on from one of our sponsors, and then we will be back to finish our Gardener's Corner program.
Coming to Lewisburg, sanctioned SRA Rodeo at Flying G Farm and Arena, 822 Moulton Road, Lewisburg, North Carolina, Friday, June 27th and Saturday, June 28th. Dates open at 5:30, rodeo at 7:30. You'll see bareback saddle bronc riding, steer wrestling, cowgirls breakaway roping, tie-down calf roping, team roping, cowgirls barrel racing, and of course, bull riding. Come out and enjoy an action-packed night of family fun. Tickets $20, kids 6 and under free. Tickets available at the gate, cash only please, or pre-sale tickets available at rodeoticket.com. For more information, call 919-602-7444. Don't miss the rodeo at Flying G Farm and Arena, 822 Moulton Road in Lewisburg, Friday and Saturday, June 27th and 28th. Presented by East Coast Gear Supply. It's the ropes and the reins and the joy and the pain, and they call the thing rodeo.
And they call the thing rodeo.
Sandling Golf Cars and Trailers is located 613 Lewis Street in Oxford. Open for business weekdays 8 to 5, Saturdays 9 till 1. Call 1-800-221-9267 or 919-693-4626. Al, Hillary, and Will there to serve you with all of your golf car needs. They have Club Car, E-Z-GO, and Yamaha units. If you're wanting a gasoline or an electric golf car, they have them at Sandling Golf Cars and Trailers. Trojan batteries, parts, and repair service. Thinking about a new grill? Check out the Wilmington Grills at Sandling Golf Cars and Trailers. Speaking of trailers, they have utility, dump, enclosed, stock, and equipment trailers. That's Sandling Golf Cars and Trailers in Oxford, 919-693-4626, toll free 1-800-221-9267. Sandling Golf Cars and Trailers.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Gardener's Corner. I'm Jennifer Brown, Family Consumer Science Agent with the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service. Before the break, we were talking about staying hydrated. It's always important, but we've had some really high temperatures lately, and we want to make sure that you are staying hydrated. And in order to make that easier, sometimes you just need to have the right supplies. You don't have to have a fancy, name brand water bottle or anything like that. You can just get a cup, straw, not a straw, a bottle with a lid, whatever. We want you to use whatever is accessible and available and, financially okay for you. Sometimes I'll get a bottle of water just because, I need a lid so nothing's spilling out. I can throw that in my bag, but it doesn't have to be, like a fresh bottle of water. Like I'll get a bottle of water, I'll drink it, and then I'll go fill it up from the tap. And I'm just reusing the water bottle there. I'll put my name on it so, everyone knows at my house, this one's mine. I'm reusing it there. And we want you to stay hydrated throughout the day. So I try to get started early drinking my water because at a certain point at night, I'm going to stop my water intake because I don't want to be up all night in the bathroom multiple times a night, as well as I want to make sure I'm getting enough too. So I kind of spread that out. I'm definitely drinking, water each time I'm having a meal, but even throughout the day, it'll help me stay fuller instead of using a snack or something like that. Sometimes it requires me to plan ahead, especially if I know that I'm going to be, outside for a lengthy period of time. If we're going to the beach or the park or, on a boat or just wherever we're going, I'm going to have a cooler and I'm going to have water. I know that the rest of my family might not always be as good at planning as I am. So I also need to take into account them. Otherwise, especially my youngest daughter, she'll take my bottle of water. So trying to make sure I'm packing enough for everyone there. Sometimes I even just have to challenge myself with a water challenge, making sure I'm actually just, like I keep track of my food or my physical activity. I'm doing a water log and I'm just checking off every time I finish a new bottle. Sometimes I want to add flavor to it, whether it's some fruit infused water, adding some slices of whatever fruits in season, even cucumber, if you want to use some of those packets, again, just using 100% juice and, half water, half, grape juice or cranberry juice or something like that. Making sure it's 100% juice, it's low calorie, maybe putting more water than juice. So it's, 3/4 water, 1/4 fruit juice to add a little bit more color, a little bit more flavor, whatever works for you. It's the same kind of process of if I want to reduce my intake of sweet tea, I'm going to drink half sweet tea, half unsweet tea. If you want to try your own juices or smoothies and make your own stuff at home, that's perfectly fine. We have a variety of different recipes for you that you can get that hydration, but you can also get some of the fruit and flavor that you're looking for. We do say it's better to eat your produce than to drink it. So eating that orange instead of drinking that orange juice, you're going to get more fiber, you're going to get more nutrients, you're going to get less sugar, less calories. There because when you're eating that fruit, you're going to get a lot more fiber from, the from the skin or the pulp, because that usually has been strained out from your fruit juices you just get from the store. Now, again, don't forget that those juices and those smoothies are still going to have, calories, and that can add up very quickly if the more that you're putting into your smoothie there. We also know that maybe during this time of year, it can be more budget friendly because they're in supply. If it's strawberry or watermelon or, blueberry or blackberry or whatever kind of season, you're going to find those fruits and even veggies in more supply. So the cost will go down and it'll be easier to add that. It could be during the rest of the time of year when those things are not in season, I'm using frozen, fruits there that are more budget friendly there. And you might just have to experiment with different combinations, adding some strawberries and mango and trying, some dairy, whether it's from milk or from yogurt. Even if you're going to put some flaxseed or even protein powder or peanut butter or even nuts in there, adding some spinach or other leafy greens in there to give you some other good nutrients there. We have a variety of different recipes that we can share with you. And so if you're watching on the local TV. I'm going to put this handout up here, but it just has, talking about fruit infused water. So again, infused water is just kind of a combination of fruits and herbs and vegetables just mixed with water there. So it's not a smoothie per se because we're not adding a dairy product. You're not necessarily having to blend anything. You're just, dropping these things in your water. And you can make a picture of it. The longer that those fruits and those vegetables infuse the more flavor you're going to get out of that water there. Again, just pick your produce, whatever fruits and vegetables you have on hand. You could add a fresh herb, maybe as a garnish. It'll add an extra little flavor like a strawberry and mint fruit infused water there. Typically, we say about 4 cups of water to every half cup or 1 cup of produce there. Again, if you are, just using 1 cup of water, you're not making a pitcher or something like that, then just, a few slices of cucumber or orange slices or lemon or lime or whatever else. Sometimes it can take a couple of hours for that fruit to really infuse into that, even up to 2 hours possibly. It depends on if it's hot versus if it's cold weather. Again, if I, am out in this really hot temperature there, it's not going to take as long for that fruit because everything's kind of melting basically there. Some great combos, occur whether you've got, kind of a cucumber citrus thing. So slices of cucumber, you can throw some oranges or, a lime in there. Strawberry and mint works really, really well, or any just kind of berry that you like with some kind of herb is good. And even other melons, cantaloupes or watermelon, even putting, like I said, some other flaxseed or pumpkin seeds or those kinds of things. They provide a healthy fat to the smoothie or to the fruit infused water there. Even just a teaspoon or tablespoon of 100% fruit juice to a glass of water there. You could take, if you have ice cube trays, you could even pour 100% juice into the ice cube trays or add some herbs and different things into the ice cube trays. And then you have your glass of water and you're putting that ice in there. And as that ice melts, that flavor will infuse into that beverage there. Just be creative there. Don't worry about well, somebody's using this, or I know a good person, this is a good recipe. Whatever works for you is important there. So, there's no set way to building a perfect smoothie. This is another handout we got from Lifestyle Medical Center that talks about just adding some kind of a protein, whether it's milk or yogurt, protein powder, and it can be soy milk, almond milk, any kind of milk there. That healthy fat. I'm going to put some peanut butter, some avocado, some whatever into the smoothie there, and then whatever kind of fruits and veggies you have on hand. If you are deficient in a certain nutrient there, your maybe registered dietitian, if you consult with one, can give you some information about this is high in calcium or phosphorus or vitamin D or whatever else. And if you need information from that, the local extension office can also help you do that too. And then any what we call freebies, low calorie or no calorie things that you can add to it, whether it's ice, water, cinnamon, almond milk, unsweetened almond milk, so you're not getting that many calories there. If you have certain protein powders that you want to add to that. So we do have a couple of recipes, such as a mango peach smoothie. You've got a little bit of Greek yogurt, some slices of peach or mango. If you have, regular water or coconut water or whatever kind of water you have, and even just a little bit of ice. Some people like a simple green smoothie. The green is from your spinach there. Again, bananas and pineapples and mangoes and any kinds of stuff there. Remember everything you add to that, it's more calories. So make sure that you are looking at the labels of everything that you're adding and you're adding up those calories so you understand that some of these smoothies are almost a meal replacement because it can have several hundred calories in them as well. And we want to make sure that you aren't, increasing your calories so much there. And it's important to pay attention to what you're adding to these things, and that you are staying hydrated, that you are paying attention to these things. Because when we tell you to add stuff, we really want you to read these labels there. Calories can be very sneaky, and so can sugar, and these things can add up. Even if it's natural sugar, it's still sugar. So if you're a diabetic, you're even when you're adding fruit, you're adding sugar to it. Again, you're getting a lot of other nutrients, low calories from those things versus some of the high calorie beverages or things that you can add to it. But when you're reading your labels, looking at not just total sugars, but specifically added sugars. Because if you're reading just the ingredient list, sugar can sneak in there from a lot of different things. It's not just, if you see the word sugar. If you see any word that ends in the letters OSE, sucrose, glucose, fructose, lactose, maltose, dextrose, all of those oses are a form of sugar. And if you have them in a variety of different formats, your level of sugar keeps going up there. Fruit juices, honey, molasses, syrups, corn syrups, different things like that. So looking at the labels, even if you are drinking a smoothie, maybe that you bought from the store, or juice or something from the store, looking at the serving size. It might say, well, this smoothie is 300 calories, but there's 2.5 servings in this one bottle there. So if you were drinking that entire bottle right there, you could potentially be getting 750 calories just from that one thing. So it's not just smoothies or juices too, it's any of your beverages. If you're going and getting those, energy drinks, if you're getting, coffee beverages, looking at the serving size of those things is very important too. Now, we know that there are a lot of different beverages out there, and some of them are say, hey, we're chock full of vitamins, or we have a lot of electrolytes. We're good for you. Yes and no. Again, some beverages, with those electrolytes, they can kind of help balance the fluid in and out of your cells, because you lose electrolytes when you sweat. Specifically sodium. Now, most of us are not deficient in sodium, which is salt, because we get so much salt in our diet. So we don't need to add more, add those electrolytes to our bodies there. Sodium is just one of the electrolytes that they could be adding. Calcium, magnesium, potassium, those kinds of things. But oftentimes we are not deficient in those unless you are just a very strong athlete. If you are sweating a lot and you are burning a lot of calories, you might be burning a lot of those nutrients out of your body, and you need those electrolytes put back in it. But those are more for our athletes. That's why you see them. But if you are very sedentary, you don't need to be adding all these electrolytes to your diet, thinking, oh, I need to drink Gatorade. It's good for me. It's, the athletes drink it. They're burning a lot of calories and they're sweating a lot with their workouts. And so they need those electrolytes put back in their body. And you're going to see that from some of your sports drinks. Again, some of the protein shakes, those are kind of for after a workout. They're not just for you to just drink. Anyway, but again, smoothies, some of them are powders, some of them, are, where you're buying pre-made beverages that have electrolytes. Just watching that and making sure that your body truly needs that, having that kind of conversation with your doctors. Should I be drinking these things? Should I water them down? Should I, balance it with something else? Am I getting enough water throughout the entire day? And am I getting a healthy beverage? Not just, oh, I got a fluid. That's great. If it's adding negative things to your body, we don't want that as well. So we're going to take another brief break and get a word on from another one of our sponsors, and we will be back to finish our Gardener's Corner program.
What a terrific spring we had. Now June and July are the months when we start to see the fruits of our spring labor in our yards and gardens. The planting season has been a good one, and you still have time to plant vegetables and flowers for a summer of beauty. And when the gardens come in, T.G. Brooks Supply Company will have canning jars in half pints, quarts, half gallons, plus pressure cookers, pressure canners, bath canners, strainers, funnels, and most other canning supplies. It is also wide open lawn and garden time. T.G. Brooks Supply Company has plenty of tomato plants. They have seeds and flowers all ready to plant. T.G. Brooks Supply Company has irrigation supplies, water hose, nozzles, sprinklers, and all that you need during the drier weeks. Reseed your lawn with clean, fresh seed, and they have the fertilizer and they have the lime. They have the sprayers, both tank and backpack, and if you need mulch, they stock it in abundance. Even the triple ground mulch. T.G. Brooks Supply Company has your insecticides for vegetables and fungicides. They also have chemicals for your grass protection and bug protections for home pest control. In fact, all your garden and home chemicals, no matter what you need, you'll find it at T.G. Brooks Supply Company. No matter if you're the commercial landscaper or the homeowner, T.G. Brooks Supply Company handles everybody with the same courteous service. They can arrange delivery, or you can pull in with your pickup truck, trailer, and they'll load it up for you. The bagged products they will load up for you in your car or van. Make your way over to 411 Helena Maria Road in Timberlake, and be sure to go across the street to Maybell's Boutique location and shop for children's clothes, shoes, and so many choices for children at Maybell's Boutique. Phone 364-3016. T.G. Brooks Supply Company, proudly serving the homeowner, the farmer, and those in construction since way back in 1936. They welcome folks from all over Person County, Rougemont, Northern Durham area, and of course, Southern Person County.
Do you have those annoying potholes in your driveway? Need some driveway regrading? Or maybe you just need some new gravel? Give JT Allison a call. Jody has been in business for over 25 years, specializing in driveway grading and hauling gravel. He also does all types of small tractor work and some backhoe and bush hogging work. Jody strives to do a top-notch job and to make sure that you, the customer, is always happy. Whether it's a small job or a big job, we have multiple truck sizes to accommodate your needs. Here at JT Allison, we appreciate your business. Check us out on Facebook at JT Allison LLC or give us a call at 336-583-6250. Jody and Kim Allison. We are rocking the county one load at a time.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Gardener's Corner. So today we have been talking about hydration. We've had a really, really hot week, and we're just at the beginning of summer. So we want to make sure you're getting enough water, but you're also not just drinking beverages that are not healthy for you. So again, just kind of recap some of the things that we've been talking about is things that you need to pay attention to when you are drinking is the ingredient list. What ingredients are in it? Is it just a variety of hidden forms of sugar? Is sodium in the beverage? We don't need salt in our beverage. That'll make us more thirsty and dehydrated and stuff like that. And again, most of us are not deficient in salt unless you're just possibly a very stringent athlete. What health claims are out there? There's a variety of different beverages that make different claims. So we, are very cautious about those kinds of things. So I'm just telling people, I'm like, I don't care what kind of water you drink. If, again, that's a conversation you have with your healthcare provider. If you need a specific thing, they know what you're deficient in. They know your test results. But, purified or spring water, alkaline water, just drink more water. We need more water. Just like people are, which fruits and veggies are better? Just eat more, and try to cook them in healthy ways if we're looking at vegetables there too. So, but do your research too. There's a lot of information out about, different claims, whether it's a health claim or nutritional claim. And if you have questions, please reach out to the extension office. We might be able to provide a handout or resources, or at least tell you what the current research is stating. But again, have that conversation with your doctor or a registered dietitian. Most health insurances will allow you to talk to a registered dietitian free of cost, at least, a certain amount of visits, because they see it as a preventive measure. So hopefully you don't come down with another chronic illness. there. So ask your doctor for a referral. It might have to be that you're doing it virtually or over the phone or that kind of stuff because we don't have as many registered dietitians in rural communities there. Sometimes it's just the amount. Just watch your portion sizes. I've had people in different classes drink crazy amounts of sugar sweetened beverages or teas or whatever else. And I'm like, can you just get it down? I'm not going to tell you to go cold turkey. If you're drinking 6 glasses of sweet tea a day, can we get that down to 5 and then 4 and then 3 and then, maybe eventually have to like that, at least a healthier option there. Comparing your labels. Oftentimes, and we've done this, we did this more before COVID, we would take people around the grocery store and we would just pick up labels and read and compare. We do have that program that we don't necessarily have to do it at the grocery store because it can get kind of, we don't want to be disruptive to the grocery stores. But we even have a kind of a pop-up grocery store tour that we have done with people to kind of talk about different labels of different products and compare, and not just drinks, but looking at different types of bread and canned stuff and meat and just, whatever else there. Look at your ingredients, look at the nutrients that are in that, look at, if you're concerned about sugars, you look at the added sugars as well there. If you are looking at sugars, when it has sugar on the label, it'll have it as grams, which grams is a unit of weight there. And we don't really know how much a gram is. It doesn't quite equate in our brain there. So we want you to kind of do just a little bit of math to make it so you can understand something. So if you have, something and it says this many grams of sugar, divide that number by 4. And that is how many teaspoons are in your beverage. And we kind of know what a teaspoon is, or I guess a packet of sugar as well there. Because 1 can of soft drink a day for an entire year equates to about 15 pounds of sugar in a year. And again, you haven't eaten anything that's sugar. That's just 1 can of soft drink. It's not a bottle. It's not your coffee beverages. It's not your cakes, pies, fruits, any of the things that you're getting sugar from. This is just looking at 1 soft drink can a day. That's a lot of sugar in your body throughout a year. And that's how you can add that like 5, 10, 15 pounds in your diet there is, and that's also, the other way, if you reduce your sugar intake, that's how you can lose that weight too. Again, reducing how much you add to certain beverages. So if you are making sweet tea, just putting a little bit less sugar in there. Again, I'll have people ask me, I'm like, sugar is sugar, just like salt is salt, just use less of it. If you are trading, sugar and you're using the artificial sweeteners, it's still sugar. I mean, it's artificial sugar, but it's still giving the same sweetness. It's still having the same effect in your brain chemistry. It's still affecting your body the same there. Just use less of it. Again, mix water with 100% fruit juice there, half and half, or making some of those beverages that you do enjoy that maybe aren't the healthiest, making them for special occasions, being a good role model is important too, that I can't tell my kids the importance of drinking water if I'm never doing it, or if I'm always drinking these, beverages. My children want the little energy drinks, and I'm like, absolutely not, because there's so much research that says how how bad it is on your body, especially for children there specifically. And but I don't even want them for me. And I can't sit here on my horse and say you shouldn't be drinking these energy drinks if I'm sitting there and pounding like 2 or 3 of them a day. No, I need to substitute them with something else there. And sometimes you just have to compare the cost. I can't afford all of these name brand. I've had some people that they were drinking these high name brand, waters, and I'm like, okay, compare it taste wise to just the tap or the store-bought brand there. Do you notice any difference? And a lot of times you don't. Again, it might just be in our mind that I notice a difference. If you do notice a difference and you want to pay more for the name brand bottled water versus whatever, go do that. That's up to you. Don't count out milk though. Not just to help our local dairy farmers in North Carolina, but milk is one of those beverages. It has 9 essential nutrients in it. As opposed to a lot of the other things, you've got all these waters that have added vitamins or added nutrients or whatever else to make them healthier or better or whatever else for you. I'm like, milk automatically already has those things. So why drink a fake beverage that they've added chemicals or nutrients to? Why not just drink something that naturally has it? So your milk has your calcium, potassium, phosphorus, protein, vitamin A, D, B12, riboflavin, and niacin. They're just automatically in it. Now, that being said, we want you to watch the calories and the fat content of that milk. But there is fat-free milk or low-fat, milk 1% or, skim milk. Those are wonderful options. If you're like, I can't drink skim milk, or I just can't do it, then try the 1%, maybe 2% there. There are certain ones that I'm like, I can cook with this, but I don't like just to drink this glass of milk. If you are lactose intolerant or whatever, there are, so many different milk alternatives. Again, whether it's soy milk, almond milk, those kinds of things, we still want to watch the amount or the nutrients there because they might have more fat content to them. They all have about the same amount of carbohydrates in them. The natural milks, of course, are going to have more protein and typically have more calcium. Again, it just depends there. You can get some of these nutrients from even orange juice. They've been, fortified with vitamin D or calcium there. Again, we'd still rather you eat your fruit than drink it there. But even in just a, day, a 12-hour period or so, these calories can truly add up with all of these beverages there. Just, even things that you don't think about being too bad for you. I got my orange juice, I got some sweet tea, maybe have a little alcoholic beverage before bed, maybe I had a soft drink, a little, mocha or, creamer, sugar added to my coffee. And it can be over 1,000 calories just from your beverages there. So just making small tweaks can be a very, game changer almost in your calorie intake there. So paying attention, just keeping track of your beverages could be something simple that you are doing throughout the day. But overall, our top recommendations, we want you to rethink what you're drinking and stay hydrated. Choose water, 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 water. Add slices of, lemon, lime, oranges, fruit, whatever there. If you're going to drink one of the sports drinks and you are not an athlete there and you're not burning a lot of those, nutrients or sweating a lot or whatever else, then we do recommend that you dilute the sports drinks or, your juices with water. In fact, that's what the recommendation is from these manufacturers is to do that. Keep low-calorie beverages on hand. Keep water on hand. If you need to add a little splash of fruit or fruit or vegetables, that's great. Avoid or decrease the amount of sugar-sweetened beverages there or the amount of sugar that you are adding to some of these beverages. Because I've seen the funny things I've seen over the years. I've seen someone get an unsweet tea when they go to like a fast food restaurant. They order unsweet tea and then they go and get like 6 packets of sweetener and put it in there. And I'm like, what? You like what? So don't do that there. Again, if you were drinking your milk to get those non-essential nutrients, drink 1% or skim milk there. And be a good role model for the people in your family. Make it a family thing. Take a big, huge pitcher of water for everyone. Moderate your alcohol or specialty drinks. I try to save those for more special occasions or, celebrations or different things like that. And so it's just, I mean, there's like 100 or 150 calories or even more every night. Some people are just adding, and that's just if you have one alcoholic beverage there. And don't forget your local extension office. We have a lot of wonderful recipes, whether it's for fruit infused water, smoothies. If you want a list of which fruits are more, have more water content in them. If you are concerned about the sugar content in the fruit as well, we can give you that information too. If you are low on certain nutrients and your doctor has said you need more of these nutrients, we can give you information or a list. Hopefully your doctor, registered dietitian would give that to you, but we can give you some resources and materials as well if they tell you specifically you are low in potassium or you need to stay away from this nutrient or something like that. There are a lot of different things that we want to make sure that you have. If you are out in the sun, we don't want you to forget that water, but we also want to make sure that you have that sunscreen, that you are watching, for the risk of skin cancer, whether it's a hat, using sunscreen, wearing glasses, and staying cool too, that you have different, cool wicking clothes, that you are wearing appropriate shoes if you're out running, or even just walking. There's so many different little fans. I see people with little necklaces and it has like a little fan right here cooling them down. I've seen the newest craze on Facebook or whatever, the little advertisements where it's a hat and it's got little solar, powered fans in the hat. It looks very funny, and to wear those hats. But I'm like, you know what? If it keeps you cool, yes, why not for it? I don't care if it might look a little silly. I don't know anyone who has one of those fans to know if it works that great or whatever else. But I've seen them. So there's a lot of new things that are always online that you can buy. But if nothing else, just make sure you're drinking your water. You don't have to buy one of the fancy cups. You don't have to, do anything fancy. Tap water's perfectly fine. It doesn't have to be cold. Room temperature water is perfectly fine for you. Just drinking more water, watching what you're adding to it. Again, if you are making your smoothies, watching what you're putting into that, watching the calories. And just ask if you have any other specific questions about hydration, about staying cool in the summer. Please contact your local extension office. You can find us online at Person at Granville FCS. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We also have a lot of virtual workshops on a variety of topics with nutrition, health, wellness, chronic disease, Alzheimer's, food safety. And we have those at least once a month. So you can check us out on our North Carolina Cooperative Extension Person County Center Eventbrite page there. And you can scan the QR code or check us out on Facebook or Instagram on our Food for Thought page to get more information about upcoming workshops that are either virtual or in person in both Person and Granville counties. That is it for our Gardener's Corner program. Again, thank you for joining us today. And we want to, again, thank you to all of our sponsors for this program. And we're going to get another word on from one of them now.
Are you ready to tackle your next big project? Look no further than Milam Rental, now proudly certified as a woman-owned business. For all your equipment needs, whether it's excavating, landscaping, or aerial equipment, Milam Rental has got you covered. From big to small jobs, we've got the right equipment for you. Visit our website at milamrental.com or call us at 434-334-2884. Milam Rental, where one call does it all. Located at 5190 South Boston Highway in Sutherland, Virginia, not far from the Highway 58 and Highway 62 intersection.